so I'll start there. The measurement of the cost per customer is an important measurement for a provider to know, and the $8,500 is reasonable, and I'd say it's well within the realm of dollars that we see frequently on projects. But I'd also say if you just think about it from a provider perspective, if a provider is, let's just say, selling $50 a month internet, you divide that out by $8,500, you can see why it doesn't matter which type of, how your service provider is owned, whether it's a co-op or a for-profit entity, that just doesn't quite pencil out yet. So I still think there's a need for some supplemental funding for the project, in whatever format that might take, but I thought the maps were really good. Maybe one consideration is, and I recognize it was kind of right in the middle, but the Ray Junction, or the one that was, it was 15,000 per customer. You know, how do we drive that specific cost down to lower the overall project cost, or does it make some sense to pull that out of the initial phase just to lower everything, even though it's in the middle? I don't know, but I really thought that was it was good work, and all the GIS data is super helpful for us as a provider as well, because if that work is done, we have that GIS data, it's just less work that we need to do on the front end, and we can vet that data really easily. I think that's important that we're able to vet data that we receive, because there is, as much as there is a huge demand for broadband, there is a bit of that field of dreams mentality sometimes, where if you build it, they will come, and that's not necessarily always the case. So to Paul Solzwer's point earlier, the difference between a questionnaire and a survey, talking about customer demand, you know, we really want to understand what the demand is, and not just we have people that are interested in broadband. So maybe I'll stop there.
Yeah, and I'll turn to Bill. When you participated in the LeSueur County project, you have a local exchange in the corner of that county. What did you think of the process and of the findings and that they came up with?
Yeah, you know, I think the process was great. I mean, it is the chance for a county like that to be able to sit down with an engineering company for a day and a half and just kind of run through the numbers and start throwing out different ideas, gives them some directions and different places to go with it. The challenge for LeSueur County, which is maybe really similar to Waseca, it's the density is just so low. You know, your cost per passing is so high. It's how do you end up funding that thing? It becomes really a dollars challenge more than a technical one. Where, you know, echo the sentiments with Cushing County, with that 8,500. That's a great example where the broadband grant program could be used to help bring that down to something less than 5,000. We're trying to do something with the local service providers. One concern I saw with the last one was just when looking at that survey data, if 61% of the people say they're not willing to pay more, and on average the survey data said that they're satisfied to neutral, that's not screaming, I'm going to jump providers. I would want to bring in a firm that does survey data and marketing research in the telecommunications space to do a better survey and try and lock in what those penetration numbers are going to be.
Steve, do you want to touch on maybe Waseca County, what you thought about that? And then I know you guys have fiber up in the Cushing County, if you want to reflect on that a little bit.
Sure. First off, I'm Steve Howard. I'm the IT and Development Manager at Broadband Communications. And you know, when Bill said we do a critique, I want to be careful that this is truly a critique and not criticism. You know, the words kind of sound the same, and everything I give, we're all giving, is meant to be positive and, you know, ways to improve your projects and go from there. I did have a lot of comments on the Waseca one. Frankly, I was most focused on the Cooch one because that affects our company the most potentially. I was surprised. Oops, sorry. Can you hear me now? I didn't have a lot to say on the Waseca County one. I kind of was left with some questions. I was surprised that you're making technical decisions early on. I was trying to determine if you're going to form an organization to do the service, or are you looking for partnerships? In which case, you probably don't want to be making technical decisions yet. You want to look at your partners and where their networks are and let them make those kind of decisions. You know, and I was also kind of puzzled by when you said service providers would help with funding. I'm assuming that you're involving those providers versus creating your own entity, your own cooperative, your own, take the example of Lake County. But I was kind of left with some questions about that. That's about it on that. I do have some other comments, though, I'd like to make. Just thinking about this process and the neat things we've seen here today. When you guys are going through these kind of presentations, remember that the people you're talking to at these providers are often, they're hearing from hundreds of people literally every year. Every day somebody's gone and wants service in my area. And so as you're talking to these guys, think about a number of things. Remember that you're competing and you want to be the best, call they got that day or that week, so that they choose to go with you and they support your project. And I encourage you, as you're doing that, to indicate that you're willing to do work like we've seen out here. You guys are doing surveys, that's wonderful. And that you're